Hi, I'm Sam, and I am participating in Nonfiction November for the first time ever. This is the first time I've ever participated in Nonfiction November. This was started by Olive at a Book Olive. I will link to her channel down below. I had no idea that there were prompts involved with Nonfiction November, and I liked that even more. There are 4 prompts every year, and they're just words, and they're up for interpretation by the reader or the booktuber, whomever. So I actually have 5 nonfiction books that are checked out or going to be checked out, maybe 6. Oh, I might have 6. I do have other books that I plan to read in November that are on the fiction realm. Those are just books that I'm finishing up. A lot of the nonfiction that I have is actually going to be on eBooks, so, well, I have physical copies of 2 of these, 3 of them. 3, maybe 4. I don't know. Let's jump into these books really quick. The first prompt is discovery. This I interpret as like literal exploration, and for that I'm actually going to be listening to this on audiobook because it was available on Libby. So, but I already know I'm going to like this, so I bought it book. I did start reading it, but I got it Libby'd. Anyway, this is about Bill Bryson's adventures on the Appalachian Trail, and he's apparently a very amusing author. I don't think I've read any of his books, but I have been dying to indulge in more books about hiking, and especially on the Appalachian Trail. I have read a couple of books on the Pacific Crest Trail, like hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. One is, oh, Wild. Everyone's read Wild by Cheryl Strayed, and then Aspen something or other. I forgot her book title. That one was less enjoyable, but there was something that tied those 2 books together, was dealing with a mental block. But I think this one is more of like, I just casually want to walk the Appalachian Trail, which is how I feel about hiking too. I really wanted to go on the Appalachian Trail at some point in my life, whether if I become super rich or so incredibly poor that I have nothing really, I can just run away into the woods. I don't know. So I'm just looking forward to this as a trip of discovery. Next prompt, movement. I take that as like a social movement, and I've already started this book. This is White Tears, Brown Scars by Ruby Hammond, and this is, and she references White Fragility by Robin something D'Angelo. I've forgotten her name already, but anyway, I have started this. I'm like 20 pages into the book already. This is about how white feminism has affected and harmed women of color and feminism in general, basically. And I'm already liking and enjoying this book, and I am the clear demographic for this book, so we gotta get reading. Feminism in general is something that I'm interested in, but how my white feminism is harming minorities is a topic of interest, so we're reading up more on that. Next, on Buzz, I have 2 books for this one. The first I've also already started, and I'm like a third of the way through, and that's Gretchen Rubin's Outer Order, Inner Calm, which I will tell you I'm enjoying more than The Happiness Project, but it's essentially a diluted version of the Marie Kondo's book, so that's what you're getting. It's about cleaning, and it's just like a summary of her book. There are a couple interesting ideas in here that I think are more inspired. So I'm enjoying this more than the other book, so that's all I can tell you. It's probably not going to be rated highly, but and The other buzz book, which I'm hoping to get to, I am not 100%, but this is a book I hope to get to this month, and that is The Stranger Beside Me by, it's a book about Ted Bundy, and this is by Anne Rule. Is it Anne? Yeah, Anne Rule. And yes, this is our Marauders Club book pick for the month of November. It is a true crime and a topic that is always a buzz. So it says it's like the inside story to the Ted Bundy story. So I'm already creeped out. We'll see if I can get to it. So, and then lastly, the prompt time. I'm taking an abstract kind of view on this topic. Last month, I read 10 Days in the Madhouse by Nellie Bly, and this month I want to read The Great Pretender, which has a similar premises of going into a mental institution, except this time I believe it was 10 people that go into various mental institutions across the country. They have to prove that they are sane in order to get out. Now, Nellie's version is that she had to try to weasel her way in by pretending to be clinically insane, and then she didn't really have an exit strategy to get out, but she ended up spending 10 days in a psych ward, and she was eventually freed by some sort of a friend of a journalist or lawyer friend or something or other. But anyway, this took place in the 1970s, so my time, I mean, to see how things have changed and if there have been any advancements or if things pretty much remain the same. I'm not confident that there had been many changes in the care of psychological help in the past, like, what, 100 years? So like a century between these two books. So that's how time works in my prompt, the way I use a prompt. And that's everything. That is all the books that I'm hoping to get through for the month of November that I'm aware of. Anyway, if you're participating in Nonfiction November, I'd love to know what you're reading. If you've read any of these books, I'd love to know your take on it and if I should be looking forward to any of them.